What's chirping, crickets? Hi, I'm Kim. This is Kim Takes On, and this is my co-host, Terrence the Wonder Duck. Terrence says hi. I'm sorry that I've been away for a couple of weeks, crickets. I just had a couple of things happening, real life and all that stuff. I mean, we'd all like to live in the virtual world where we can all look any way we want to, and you can get killed in video games and not die for real and blah blah, etc. But every once in a while, real life shoehorns its way in. So if that's the way it is, from that song from so long ago that I'd like to remember, that I'd like to forget that I remember, because that would mean I'm old. I tell myself I'm not old, I'm vintage. I also tell myself I'm not fat, I'm Rubenesque, but you can only tell so many lies to yourself in one day. Anyway, moving on. The reason you're here is not to hear about me whine. Today's topic is one that I think is really interesting. And today I'm going to be talking about songs that were hits in other countries that mostly, not all the time, were done in a different language. And I realize that's an enormous number of songs, and we could be here till next St. Swithin's Day if I tried to do that. So I'm going to bring up songs that I know that I really love, that are some of my favorites, that fall into this category. And how some of those songs wound up having a different life that had the same melody but different words. Language is kind of a funny thing, crickets. Everybody's got, everyone's got their own language all over the world. There's, hundreds upon hundreds of different languages, and even in languages, then there's different dialects. There's the way that, just looking at where I live, which is in America. You have the way that people talk in all different parts of the country, the Southern accent and the different variances of that, the surfer accent out in California, dude, and that kind of thing, or the New England Pak the Ka and Harvard Yard thing, which I don't have. In case you haven't noticed, I can pronounce my R's very well. Thank you very much. Even though I know TC's probably put something snarky up on this thing right now somewhere. I will admit that I do drop my R's sometimes when I get a little excited, and they get all over the floor, and Terrence has to pick them up for me. He's very, very helpful that way, my Terrence, our retriever that he is. But language it's really interesting to me, because language and music are the most basic forms of communication that we as a species have. Before we had paper, we had language. And maybe even before we had language, we had music that didn't have words in it, just kind of grunting or whatever when people were, sitting around campfires and all that sort of thing, not fighting off dinosaurs, because dinosaurs and humans were not on the planet at the same time. So I don't need any emails telling me that. Thank you. I know. Sorry. No, Raquel Welch running around in a fur bikini for you bunch of naughty horn dogs. But language is obviously very important, and music is, I think, as important as language, and I think all of you do too. So when you have a song from another place that is a song in a different language, and you're hearing it, and your ear is saying, wow, that's really pleasant. I really like that beat. I like that melody. I like things about this song. That's what your ear is doing. Your brain is going, what the hell is this? What are you throwing at us? And so then you have a couple of options. Option one is you can just say, screw it, I'm just going to listen to the tune and just the heck with the words, and just kind of la 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 along with it, and not even bother looking it up, what it really means. There's also being proactive and going up and looking what the words to the song are, and trying to figure it out in as close to your language as you can. And sometimes that is hard, because, language being what it is, there is a reason the phrase lost in translation exists. Let's go with that. The other option another option, which is actually an expand your mind option, and we're all about that here on Kim Takes On, is that you could try and learn another language, at least to the point where you can listen to the song and not feel like a total doofus because you know what the song is saying. And if you have that kind of time, patience, and intestinal fortitude, good on you. Terrence and I are both very, very impressed. The other option is that you could take the song, take out the lyrics that are there, and put in lyrics that match your language. Whether or not they match what the actual song was about, Some people try and do it, bless their hearts, and some people come up with something completely different, which is something we will get into as we continue this little goofy podcast of mine. So, talking about some songs that fall into this category of songs that became big hits in America that were in another language at the start of things when they got exposed to the world. I want to start with a song from, and I can't believe I'm bringing it up again. I mean, I haven't talked about it enough. We're talking about, everybody say it with me all together. 1, 2, 3. Eurovision! Yay! Sorry, that might have been a little sarcastic. From 1973, the song that did not win Eurovision came in second, but probably is known better than the song that did win, which was from Luxembourg, which I don't know what the song was. I couldn't tell you where Luxembourg was on a map if I tried, other than it's in Europe somewhere. The song was from Spain by a band called Mocedades, and it was called Eras Tú. I remember hearing this song on the radio when I was a little kid. And they would just, just play on the radio and stuff like that. Like, because just side note, backstory. Growing up, I had no control over the radio in the car, none, which I didn't mind, and my parents listened to AM stations because, shock of shocks, you might want to sit down for this, anybody born after 1985, but AM radio used to be not a lot of talking blah blah nonsense. AM radio actually used to play music. I know, shocking AF, right? But yeah, they used to, my parents used to listen to a lot of I think they listened to WBZ and WHDH and stuff like that. And they played music, and that's where I first heard like Hall & Oates and stuff like that. And they would play this song sometimes. And I remember hearing it, and I remember being like, wow, that's really pretty. I don't know what language that is, but it's really nice. I never thought to ask my parents because I was stupid and they were driving, and it was, kind of like, don't bother your parents when they're driving because you don't want to wind up wrapped around a telephone pole. I could be a very serious kid when I was young, and my thoughts went dark places. But anyway, this is a beautiful song. It's been re-recorded several times by several different artists, mostly in Spanish. And it's every version I've heard of it, I absolutely adore. It's just this very moving song. Eras Tú, if I'm translating this right, and I'm probably not, so anybody who speaks Spanish, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. I think that means it's you or it is you. And it's just a really, really pretty song. I did look up the lyrics, and I mean, I did take Spanish in school and college. I can ask where the library is and where the bathroom is, and that's about it. I mean, if I hear someone speaking Spanish, I can get a few words, and then I can kind of piece together a sentence, and I can read it, but I'm not good at it. I didn't practice it enough. Bad me, I know. Okay, this song, boy, this gets weird. Get comfortable, get a drink, Get something to munch on. Save some of it for Terrence, because Terrence really likes goldfish. The cracker, not the actual fish. From 1962, a song that is a Japanese song that, no, I'm not going to try and say it because screw you, I don't want to look completely stupid on the internet. It's translated to I Look Up As I Walk. And the song was sung by a man named Kyu Sakamoto. And basically the song is about a man who is walking and he has his face upturned because he doesn't want his tears to fall. Now, the gentleman that wrote this song actually wrote it over his frustration over I believe it was a political event, and was basically didn't want his tears to fall and all that. But the way the song is put together, you can definitely hear it as someone mourning a love that for whatever reason is no longer, together. And it's very beautiful. And Kyu Sakamoto had an amazing voice, just wonderful stage presence. Sadly, he lost his life in an airplane crash. I believe it was one of the largest crashes in Japan, of fatalities. And that's really, really sad. TC would know more about that because he is the disaster aficionado in our house, which is why he's in love with me, because I'm a disaster. Ting. But so somebody heard this song and thought, wow, this is a great song. Let's bring it to America and see what happens. So they brought this beautiful song to America, and being America, we have to tinker with stuff. So the song was called I Look Up As I Walk. Is what happened on an alternate Earth where someone's head wasn't rammed right up their butt. Nope. On this Earth, someone decided to call this song by a word that they figured that most American people would automatically arrive at the conclusion this is a Japanese song because they're using an easily identifiable Japanese word. So you had a song called Godzilla. No, you didn't. No. Not the Blue Oyster Cult song. I'm kidding. No, the record label people, geniuses that they are. Yes, I know, Terrence. I'm putting it in. #sarcasm. Decided to call the song Sukiyaki. Pardon my phone going off for whatever reason. Sukiyaki, which is a dish from Japan, is not mentioned in this song. There is nothing about sukiyaki in this song. They just figured it's a Japanese word. People will understand that it's Japanese, so let's just slap it on there. This would be like taking My Heart Will Go On in Japan and calling it club sandwich, or something American. Actually, American would probably be like chili cheese fries or something else fattening and unhealthy. But anyway, moving on. The song wound up with another life, though, in the 70s by a band called A Taste of Honey. And they also called it Sukiyaki. And besides doing that, they also completely changed. First of all, they did it in English, which is fine. But they also completely changed the lyrics. The song Sukiyaki by A Taste of Honey is not the same lyrics that are in Kyu Sakamoto's song Sukiyaki. I mean, there are things you could look at and go, well, it's kind of close. It's obviously about, a love that's no longer in bloom, if you prefer. But it's the lyrics are completely different. A Taste of Honey would have an even bigger hit. With their biggest hit, I think, was Boogie Oogie Oogie. That's that band. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if this situation is hysterical or ridiculous. I'm kind of thinking it's both. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous hysterical. I just made up a new word. Yay! Okay. Another song that I know all my 80s kids out there, you know this one, because you couldn't get away from it on the blossoming station MTV, back when MTV actually played music videos. I know, shocking, right? 99 Luftballons from Nena is how this song came to America. It was sung in German because Nena was a German band. And this song is basically about how a release of some balloons triggered a nuclear holocaust. So that's taking the whole butterfly effect thing and just pumping it full of steroids, I guess. I don't. But it was decided that because nobody in America could be arsed to learn German, I guess, that they would do a version in English as well. The thing is, the lead singer didn't speak English as far as I know and sang this song phonetically, which I'm like, good for her. I'd always heard the rumor that she didn't speak English at the time. I don't know. But either way, still good for her because she did a great job. And any song that mentions Captain Kirk, I mean, come on, it's gonna spark something in us trekkers out there. And you have to understand, again, my phone decides to keep beeping. I don't know what's going on. This was a time, this whole time, early to mid 80s, and I realize for a whole lot of kids out there, this is going to be kind of, but the threat of nuclear war, we took that shit seriously. This was in the days of the evil empire stuff about Russia, the first evil empire, as opposed to the one that's over there they're trying to build now. And that was my one political joke for the show. Write that down, Terrence. Make sure you keep he keeps my records. He's very meticulous and his handwriting is much better than mine. It was crazy. It was really crazy. You had all this stuff about, the bomb could fall any minute now. I mean, people talk about the Cold War. I'm like, yeah, okay. In the 50s and stuff, in the 80s, it was like every day it was like, blah, 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 salt, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that, blah, blah, nukes, 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 nukes. And it was not fun. It was not fun. So, does anybody wonder why Gen X gets so chill about stuff? I'm like, look, we had to deal with the idea we were going to wake up every day and get bombed to oblivion. F all else is going to bother us. So millennials and baby boomers just keep shouting at each other. Gen X is going to go get a sandwich. Another song that I'd like to bring up that I love is Rock Me Amadeus from Falco, Gone Way Too Soon. Rock Me Amadeus was from 1985. And I got to be honest, I don't know if he's speaking German or Austrian in this song. I'm not super duper sure. I love it. I think it's a great song. There's been a couple of different versions of it where there's one version where there's a rap in the middle where it's all talking about Mozart's life because that's the Amadeus that they're talking about. Like there's anybody else running around called Amadeus. But, CYA children, that's what we say here on Kim Takes On. That's a really cool song. From going back way back to 1958, there's Volare. From Domenico Modugno, which was another Eurovision thing, I think. And I knew this song before I knew it was a song. That it will make sense in a minute. I knew it as a jingle from a car commercial. I remember hearing that in a jingle for cars when I was like super duper small. And when I found out it was a song, I was like, oh, that's a real song. It's not just something that somebody wrote for a commercial. I'm like, oh, that's an actual song. That's the way my brain works, folks. I can't help it. I don't get it either sometimes, if it makes you feel any better. Obviously a song from, a much more recent song that everybody knows pretty much, from 2017, Despacito, which is Luis Fonsi featuring Daddy Yankee. And there's another version as well with a rap from Justin Bieber, which will probably be the first, last, and only time you will ever hear Justin Bieber mentioned on my show, if I can help it. Which is mostly Spanish. I think there might be, depends on which version there is, as whether or not there's any, English in there as well. That song was a big hit for people who speak Spanish and for people who don't, because again, it's the whole tying together of people. Music really is a universal language. It's the thing that, you can be someone that completely does not understand what a song is about. And even if you don't, but you hear it and that song helps you make a connection with another person, then that song has really served more purpose than 10 hours of diplomacy, talking blah, blah, talking head stuff, I think. But that's what I think. And in case you haven't noticed, I talked to a rubber duck. So, yeah. One song that I am going to be perfectly honest and straight up with you guys. Most of you don't know this song, and that's okay. Because you're going to hear about it from me and Terrence, and we're going to tell you about it because I want you to rush out and listen to it right away. It is from a movie. Specifically, it's from an anime. Specifically, it is from the first full-length film of the Ranma 1/2 anime. Ranma 1/2, which was a manga anime series, cultural phenomenon, however you want to word it, from the brilliant Rumiko Takahashi. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. This was the first feature-length film. It's called Ranma 1/2, Big Trouble in Necrolon, China. And it's from 1991. And the song that plays over the end credits is by an artist called Rabbit. The song is called It's Love. There are translations. There are subtitles in the version I have. And oh my gosh, I love this song. I love this song so much. It hurts. It's so good. The guitar work in this song reminds me of Queen so much. It's scary. And it's just this incredibly amazing song that I've actually been trying to teach myself in Japanese to sing. And you don't want to see that because it's painful, but I'm trying. I mean, if you try, that's, if at first you don't, as the saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, quit. No. It's try again. And It's Love is such an amazing song. And I wish someone had been able to play it here so people could hear it on the radio, because it was just so cool. So It's Love from Rabbit. If you can find it on Spotify, which I know you can, go listen to it. And go look up. I don't know if the lyrics are going to be on Spotify, to be honest with you, but I haven't looked. But it's a great song. If you have any favorite songs in languages other than English that you would like to send me, songs that mean something to you, that touch your heart. If the song that touches your heart is Du Hast from Rammstein, I'm going to be a little worried about you. But anyway, PlatinumRoselle@yahoo.com. Please click on the like button for this little video. Please share my website with people, my videos channel here, and all the stuff, all the little island of misfit toys that we have that are part of our video channel that my sweet, caring, long-suffering husband TC puts together for us because he's the computer genius in the family. I'm just the cute one. Ding. That's going to do it here on Kim Takes On for another week. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of the week. Stay safe and talk to everyone you love and let them know you love them. And from me and Terrence the Wonder Duck, have a great day and keep rocking, crickets.